Cyberpunk universe is very similar to our universe, so certain things that's happened within our history is also part of the Cyberpunk history. But that also means when going forward, even though it did take a slightly different path, there are some similarities, but they're not exactly the same. One of these is the net, and this is what we're going to be talking about in this video. Before I do get into the video though, if you do want to see any more content from me, I am streaming over on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. At the minute, it's a little bit of Red Dead Redemption, bit of Watch Dogs Legion, then it's going to go into Assassin's Creed Valhalla and also Call of Duty Cold War until hopefully in December. That's when Cyberpunk will be released, and we'll be going with daily streams with Cyberpunk. So if any of this interests you, there is a link to that in the description down below. If you do want to get any more news or quicker than what I'm able to push out videos, then make sure you go into that description and also go and join the Discord server. The Discord server already has over 100 members and it's growing rapidly, so make sure you're a part of it. Getting back into the video, the net is essentially the internet, but in the Cyberpunk universe. This is the easiest way to describe it. The net is a vast telecommunications network on Cyberpunk. It contains anything that can relay information from one computer to another. To access the net, you need access to a cybermodem. This is technology that would give you access, and this is where things slightly differ from the internet that we are all used to. Because whereas we're used to using screens to surf the internet, using a cybermodem will display the net in a 3D environment, which is where the net differs from the internet in our world. Imagine it in a way of putting a VR headset to search things up on Google, because that's pretty much what this is. When I first read this, it sounded more difficult to put something like a headset on rather than just bringing up my phone just to go and tap the screen. But there is one huge benefit to it being this way. It's so much quicker. Instead of your brain thinking of something and then typing that into a keyboard to look for it or typing it up on your phone, the cybermodem has a direct connection to your brain. So you skip the whole typing up, you skip the action. This is a split-second decision that can help traverse the net. This means things are so much quicker because you're skipping the action, and this is a massive benefit to netrunners. This also means that you see things differently. Now you're not looking at something in the screen, but you're actually part of the net. So this is where there's an extra layer to this. Whilst you're in the net, you control an icon. An icon is pretty much an avatar that you will control, and this will give you the ability to interact with different programs and even other icons. So this means the net is just another virtual world, which is actually very similar to the real world, because the net uses computers with the real world to create a virtual world. So this means that it's broken up into different regions, and because the net has a direct connection to the real world using people's computers and cyber modems, the regions within the cyberpunk world has an effect on the regions within the net. So the city center region will be completely different to the Pacifica region, and this is because of how much control governments and influential groups have on the real world, which will then affect the net. If we were to talk about the aesthetics of what this virtual world would look like, it's supposed to look very similar to the real world, except it's got a much more Tron neon look. So this is the basic version of what the net is within the cyberpunk world. Now, a way that you can utilize this in Cyberpunk 2077 is by being a netrunner. Now, Netrunner focuses on hacking, but because the net is slightly different to the internet that we have within our world, it means that hacking within the cyberpunk world is also slightly different. So as a quick basic overview of a netrunner, netrunners are the types of savvy computer hackers you would find in the movies, but with a cybernetical augmentation interface system implanted into their bodies. Using their brain-computer interface implants, they can roam the net, looking for systems to hack and information to sell to fixers. After the Fourth Corporate War, netrunning became slightly more difficult. Originally, you can use cyber modems to surf the net, but after the Fourth Corporate War, the net was almost completely destroyed. What was left had a number of different viruses which would just fry you if you tried to enter. So now within Cyberpunk 2077, netrunners have to be at the physical location to hack something and simply cannot be at a safe distance. This is also why cyberware suited for the net became extremely popular, so a netrunner can plug in whilst on the fly. CD Projekt Red have already shown us gameplay of being a netrunner, and it is appealing to a lot of different players. I know a lot of different players want to go in stealthy, and hacking does play an element within that. It means if you're trying to get into a certain building, you don't have to blow the doors off, or you don't have to find a window to smash through and start shooting everyone up. With your cyberware, you're pretty much a walking, talking computer. So you can find a way to access that door, hack into it, open it freely, and just walk straight in. And there are a huge amount of abilities that you can buy into which will just make your hacking experience even better within Cyberpunk. At the beginning of the game, you have your abilities to put into intelligence, and this will already start you out to be able to start hacking within the world no matter which life path you pick. But as you progress, you rank up, you get skill points, you can buy into more abilities within that hacking area, unlocking more features that you can do. But it doesn't just stop there with getting in and out of buildings. Remember how I said the net has a direct connection to the real world, using people's computers and cybermodems? Well, Netrunner can use the net to benefit them within the real world by hacking cyberware, and we've already seen this a few times in gameplay videos. My favorite one to look at is in the Cyberpunk 2077 E3 2019 cinematic trailer, where T-Bug is helping Dexter Deshawn in shutting down V's cybernetics. After a botched job with V and Jackie, Dexter Deshawn turns on V, only for it to backfire, with V taking out a number of different enemies and then slowly walking to Dexter Deshawn with the Mantis blades. But that's when T-Bug stops V in his tracks and deactivates all his cyberware. It's extremely unfortunate for V, especially how it ends, but it's also pretty cool to see that as a Netrunner, these are the limits. You can hack into people and control them. If you aim to be someone who is a Netrunner, you can do this. You can hack into other people's cyberware to get it to malfunction, or even overheat. This can be used for distracting to go in stealth, or even killing to give you the upper hand before you go in guns blazing. Either way, this is definitely a good ability to have on your character. If this is something you want to do within the game, I would also recommend linking up with the Voodoo Boys, which is a gang within Cyberpunk. In 2077, the Voodoo Boys are an enigmatic gang from Pacifica, netrunners devoted to uncovering the secrets of the old net and behind the black wall. Working for this gang will obviously give you XP, you can rank up, get skill points, and buy into abilities for hacking. But I'm sure there will be some complicated puzzles for you to do, as well as maybe you can get some extra stuff which will just benefit you when progressing through this game, and if you really want to be a Netrunner. I'm sure by doing work with the Voodoo Boys, you'll be able to get a number of different skills to be a Netrunner. And on top of that, if it is something that you really enjoy doing of hacking within this game and going in stealthy, I'm also sure you'll get a number of different missions which fit that playstyle. So it just makes sense if this is something that you really want to do. For myself, this is something that I will be going through. I've already created a number of different accounts and I'm preparing to do a number of different videos on the day, which means I need to have a couple different save games going through different options. One of those options is definitely going to be hacking. So I have done a bit of research already. One bit of research that I've done is looking at the attribute points. This is where you can put your skill points after ranking up, and you can put it into different areas, such as reflexes, intelligence, body, technical, and cool. For hacking, you need to go to intelligence, and you can see when looking at other areas, such as body, it can be broken down into a couple different categories. The same with reflexes, and cool can also be broken down into a couple different categories. But with intelligence, it is only broken down to hacking. And then within hacking, it looks like there is 5 different areas which you can put skill points into. With this, we don't know exactly what it's going to be. In an IGN video, they do hover over top of the first one. It says hacking 1. Current level unlocks additional advanced malware demons. With this, I can only speculate, so I can't actually give you the facts on this. I would speculate with the wording that it'll be a way to send around viruses. Viruses to what? Not too sure. It could be viruses to people's cyberware, it could be viruses to other computers, it could be viruses whilst hacking in, which will make systems malfunction, making it easier for you to get in and out of buildings. It can be so many different things. Within a cyberpunk world where technology is absolutely everywhere, hacking, no matter what it is, will play a massive benefit to you. But anyway, that is absolutely everything to do with net, as well as net running within Cyberpunk 2077. As said at the beginning, if you do want to see any more content from me, I am streaming over on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that will be sure to ramp up to daily streams when Cyberpunk is finally out. And fingers crossed, it will still be within December. So if that's of interest to you, there is a link to the Twitch stream in the description down below. And if that's not quite something you're interested in, there is a number of other things that you can find within the description. So I highly recommend going to check it out, as a lot of it will benefit you when it comes to Cyberpunk. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.